We wake up in the morning and there's cameras in your bedroom.
Yeah.
But I wanted that because that actually allowed zero fakeness.
What was that journey like of getting sober? What was the realization, the pivotal?
My brother passed away. That night I was like, I'm gonna get up. I almost died. I think deep down I was crying for help. I could not stop drinking because I'm an alcoholic. I could not stop using cocaine because I'm a cocaine addict. But not everybody's comfortable saying that. I'm very comfortable. We saw an opportunity to create our own beverage, and Loverboy was born in 2018. Taking a step back, I looked at what was going on in the non-alc industry. I'm like, we need a non-alc. We're finally, I think, realizing a variety of impacts it has on our personal lives, mental health, domestic violence, crime, all relating to alcohol.
Carl, welcome to Coffee and a Good Vibe. I'm so honored to have you on the podcast because whenever we chat, we could just yap. We can just yap because you have so many things you're working on, so many, like your background in the founder space is insane. And I'm so excited to dive into all things Carl Radke.
Thank you for having me.
So let's kick it back. So a lot of people know you from Summer House, but like, give us a little bit of background on your journey. Like, who is Carl Radke? Where'd you grow up? Where are you from? Like, journey into where you are today.
Sure. So I grew up I'll just go from day one. I was born in Chicago, Illinois. I'm an 80s baby, so I'm a little older than maybe some of your listeners, but I was born in Chicago, but my family, we moved to Pittsburgh, PA. I'm actually wearing my Steelers t-shirt
You're
today.
representing.
Got a vintage Steelers tee on, but I grew up in Pittsburgh is where I really remember most of my childhood.
Mhm.
So Pittsburgh was a, nice blue collar town. I grew up in a very loving family. We had a big family, but I was kind of a blue collar, hardworking family. We weren't rich. We weren't poor. We were kind of in between. And I was very lucky, I feel like, as a kid with a lot of opportunities and different things. But I certainly had, everybody has shit in their family. I had drug addiction and alcoholism and mental health things within my family with family members of mine, my brother, grandfather, and some other members. So yeah, I guess I grew up in kind of an interesting environment, but to some others, it was pretty, spoon fed and silver spoon, and was very lucky. So yeah, I went to Syracuse University. I studied television, radio, and film. They have a program at Syracuse called the Newhouse School, which is the communications school, which if you were to type in Google, what's the best communications school in the United States of America, Syracuse would be on the top of the list, or I would say top 5. I think USC, NYU, Syracuse. I'm sure there's some others that I'm missing, but I set out to go to the best communication school that I could get into because I wanted to be in some sort of production, television, screenwriting, acting, all the above. So I went to Syracuse. I joined a fraternity, partied really hard, I walked on the basketball team as a practice squad member. I was a club volleyball player. And I graduated and moved to Los Angeles after that.
Crazy.
Worked in the TV industry in LA for a few years. I worked on a TV show called Criminal Minds. It's on CBS. I was like a production assistant. Worked really hard there, but wasn't making a lot of money. Had a friend of mine who was working in sales. And what I meant by that is like, he was well dressed. He had a company car. He was taking Fridays off and playing golf. He was going out to dinner with his clients. And I remember thinking, that sounds like a pretty cool career. Like he's got more flexibility, more freedom. I was making probably $29,000 a year working on a TV show in LA, which is not a lot of money.
It's not a lot.
I've been honest about this before, but like I was so poor working there that I had to not steal food, but I'd order an extra lunch during our lunch and bring the lunch home to have for dinner.
No way.
I would take boxes of popcorn or snacks and just like, that's how I ate because it was just such a rough time for me financially. And then worked in the industry for a few years, but then realized there might be something else for me. So I joined a company that I sold. I was a salesperson, but I was a phone salesman at first because that's how they trained you. So I worked inside sales for a medical device company in California. I told my parents I'm leaving the Hollywood thing, and they were like blown away because I went to school to do TV. Like
your dream, essentially.
Exactly. But I said something to my dad at that point, which was, Well, I'd realized in the TV world, there's a lot of people that came into success much later on. You know, you're not like 22 out of college and like all of a sudden you're the executive producer of a TV show. You're the PA, you're in the writer's room, you're now an assistant, you're this, and like you keep having to climb up. And I had a lot of peers in their mid 30s that were finally seeing success. And here I am at 22 going, I'm going to go make some money and get some skills and learn how to like actually speak and talk to people. So I wasn't building those skills at this production job. I was working really hard and learning a lot, but being a professional, I maybe not so much. So I ended up getting a job at this company doing sales. I got really good at it. That led me to a variety of places, but ultimately, you know, I left California and came back to the East Coast. And then at some point I got to New York City in 2013. I was working still for this company doing sales. So I can go on and on and on. I don't know.
No, I'm so engaged because it's a beautiful thing to kind of like peel back the layers, because a lot of people think that sometimes things can just pop off overnight and they don't understand like the complexities and the layers. And
now in these days though, I mean, yes,
I know
things can pop off overnight. Absolutely. But you don't want that either.
Exactly.
You do. Everybody wants to go viral until it happens to you or something like that. I don't know. I wonder.
And also when we like keep going into your journey and what you're doing today, it's people will understand like, oh, this all came from like these parts of the journey served into like what you're doing today.
Definitely.
So you come back to the East Coast, then what? Where'd you move and where did you move right into the city?
No, I actually didn't move directly to New York. I moved. So the company I worked for I sold dental devices and supplies.
And financially in a good, really
making much better money.
Yeah.
I had a company car, an expense budget. It was a career. Like sales was a career. I was
Were you
learning.
happy?
At the time, I think I was, because I was paying bills and making money. I was learning. I loved what I sold. I'm really proud of I love the dental industry.
Yeah, you have great teeth.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the first thing you do when you wake up is what? Brush your teeth.
Yeah.
How do you talk? How do you eat? Through your teeth. To me, teeth are something that is, especially here in the States, if you have good teeth, people like, I think, respect you more in a weird way. And I'm not like that vapid of like vanity, but I grew up with not great teeth. I had chipped teeth.
Wow.
I was hit in the face. I played a lot of sports. I was very active. I was a kid, a boy. Like kids scrape their arms, they fall into things, they break elbows. I got hit in the mouth with a hockey stick at age 8 or 9 by my brother and chipped my bottom front teeth and my top teeth. I got them fixed. I then turned 12 and I got hit in the face with a baseball accidentally playing baseball. And I chipped my teeth again. So most of my youth, I had chipped and crooked, discolored teeth. Now, I always had a big smile, but my teeth were always like a sore spot for me because I was made fun of a lot for that. Also my ears, I was made fun of a lot for. So working in the dental industry was really unique because it was a beautiful industry, because for the most part, dentists are making people smile or getting them more confident or helping them get healthier in their mouth. Now, I know a lot of people have fear of the dentist.
Yeah.
I love going to the dentist, and I've learned over time, it's just been the importance of your teeth and your dental health and everything that goes on in your mouth. It actually relates to everything else in your body.
Totally. Your oral health is everything.
Everything. So there was a lot of cool things I learned, but it wasn't the end all be all being in the dental industry. I knew I needed a career, needed to make money. So that dental job took me back to the East Coast, but I didn't come to New York City initially. I went to Philadelphia.
Wow.
Now, the way it works in sales is you get an opportunity. Like your manager calls you and says, hey, Carl, we have Milwaukee is available. We have Atlanta. We have Philadelphia. And in my head, I grew up in Pittsburgh, which is about a 6-hour drive from Philadelphia. I mean, if you grew up in Pittsburgh, would you rather go to Philadelphia or Milwaukee?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a pretty easy answer for me, and nothing against Milwaukee, but just I felt like Philadelphia was the right chance for me to come back to the East Coast. They paid for me to move. I landed in Philadelphia, I think in 2012, and started working that job in Philly. But guess where I was going every weekend?
Where?
New York City.
Yeah.
Because it's an hour and 40.
Out partying?
I went to Syracuse. I have all these friends in New York. I have all these people that I know here. And nothing against Philadelphia, but it wasn't the burgeoning energy of New York. So I had a lot of friends that would say, hey, come up to New York this weekend. But I still lived in Philly. So I was going back and forth just weekends, partying and having fun.
Okay, so then.
But then
Yeah.
finally, after about a year of being in Philly, I asked my manager, I was like, hey, can I like move to New York? And he was a little apprehensive about it because the cost of living's higher. I had a company car that needed to be parked. So where are you going to park the car? If anybody knows anything about parking in New York.
It's crazy.
The spot that I paid for on Varick and like Houston or Varick and like Spring Street at the time 10 years ago was $550 a month.
Wow, now it's probably.
I bet it's $1,000 a month now. So my manager's really concerned just because of the costs and all that stuff. But I landed in New York in 2013.
Never look back.
Early 2013. Yeah. So I've been here 12 years.
And then when did you leave that job? Like, what was that journey like?
I didn't leave the job. The job decided that they didn't want me anymore, which was valid.
Okay.
So I was let go from the job. So I had been working that job in New York, and then I signed up to be on a reality TV show a couple of years after that. So I get to New York in 2013. I'm working. I don't join the TV show until 2016.
Oh, wow.
So I was working for this company, living and breathing in New York. Things were pretty good for the most part. I had success, but then my drinking and, my drug use was also becoming a problem as well.
How did you, like, with the reality TV show, were you very much like going back and forth on it? Or were you like, no, this is what I'm going to do?
I mean, at the time you didn't know what it was going to be at that time.
Yeah.
All I knew was it was a group of my friends that were involved.
And you're getting paid.
It wasn't actually a lot early on. It was more about the opportunity of what could be. I knew enough about Bravo, and I knew about who Bethany Frankel was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what Skinny Girl Margarita was.
Yeah.
And I knew that company was super successful because of the integration that it had on the Real Housewives of New York City.
100%.
I didn't watch the Real Housewives of New York City, but I did know what the brand Skinny Girl was. Mm-hmm. Kyle Cooke, my best friend, he was one of the people that originally kind of the show evolved around, and his group of friends, I was one of the friends. So there was really never I didn't like think twice about it other than this could be fun. I'm already going to the Hamptons. I'm going to be with friends, and maybe there's something that could come from this.
100%.
But back then it'd be like going, I don't know, I'm trying to think about an example, like season 1 of Friends on NBC.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm sure they weren't like, this is going to be like, they just you did the first season, and then it slowly continued to get, and like every year it gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So Summer House back in 2016, nobody knew about us. No one cared. And it wasn't for a couple years until it really took hold.
Mm-hmm.
So even the second summer of doing it, some people were like, why are you going back? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God, so many things there, because you're such an innovator. One of the things that I've noticed, even just through hearing everything you're doing today in the entrepreneurial space and all your endeavors, is that you are someone who is an innovator, and it's almost like you have this foresight of what's going to happen in the market. Like when we get into soft bar, it's I think about one person who also has this, and that's Gary Vee. Like, he talks about like his investments because he's so open with it.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, this stock's gonna pop.
I'll take the comparison to Gary Vee, but I am nowhere even close.
But I feel like you're like that.
Gary.
Later in this episode, we're gonna go into that, because in your industry of like what's coming, because I think that you have this pulse that it's almost like intuitive. I don't know what it is, that you know what's gonna happen, and that's, to me, what it seemed like even with Summer House and you making that decision. You felt it, that it's going to lead to something greater. And I want to kind of pivot this into the topic of branding, because we were talking about this a little bit, that like attention is currency, and having those eyes is so powerful. And like what you do with them, yes, it's up to the person who has the brands, but what do you think are the things that you did to build that really engaged community and brand? And I know I do want to tap into your own journey with like going sober and how you've also shifted that with your audience because the engagement has stayed. In
Yeah,
fact, the community's more engaged.
totally. I mean, listen, Bravo is an amazing platform, an incredible network. I mean, it's
Mhm.
probably, I think it is the most watched network among women on television.
Insane.
And a lot of the shows that are on Bravo, I've found to be a lot more relatable and
Real.
real. Yeah, exactly. Like they're kind of like peeling back the layer of a family or a business or the boating industry
Yeah.
or partying in the Hamptons or a restaurant in Los Angeles. You got kind of like behind the hood of like some real characters and people, and nothing against some of the competition reality shows. That was something I never wanted. I'll watch it, but those seemed more contrived and a little more calculated and put
Mhm.
together. So I was excited about being a part of something that told real stories and honest, authentic things about people's lives. But for me, it wasn't overnight that I guess I built some of this, but I feel like I'm still actively trying to build a community of people or people that kind of follow me along. I mean, I think authenticity has really helped us out where you get to see us 360, on the show, you get to see us at our worst, where we wake up in the morning and there's cameras in your bedroom.
Yeah.
So like most people wouldn't sign up for something like that, but I wanted that because that actually allowed zero fakeness and it
Mhm.
allowed for no script. Like there is no scripted in ours because you can't. Like there's literally cameras everywhere in the house. Like you can't. If you try to script yourself, it's obvious.
And do you find that the show it's this does a great job of keeping the narrative of like how you are in real life and how you are on the show? It's like an accurate depiction.
100% as accurate as can be. I mean, if anything, the show is shown more of who I really am that I didn't realize that I was. If that
Mhm.
makes any sense.
No,
Like, I
totally.
think we all have a version of ourselves we feel like we're putting out to the world. We are very controlled with how we can
Yeah.
communicate that message with social media. A lot of us have very curated posts and we edit our photos and we carefully calculate the angles and how we're shooting it because our ears are big or our face looks weird or our legs are chunky or whatever it is. We are all very curated more than you think, where our show, you can't. Like, you literally can't because you see it firsthand.
Yeah.
So I had an idea of who I thought I was and what I was putting out to the world, but until I got it returned back to me on TV 8 months after I filmed it, you then really realize more about who you are.
Wow.
And I was faced with really difficult questions about my own behavior, my own choices, how I communicate, how I deal with conflict, how I do a variety of things. And that it's actually made me more of who I am by seeing myself on TV.
That's such a crazy and beautiful reflection.
I had to do that several years ago, but it was a mirror into my life that I wasn't ready for. But
Wow.
once I was, it's actually been some of the best growth and work on myself that I wouldn't have gotten had I not been a part of it.
Totally. It's like taking journaling and doing the deep work on a whole other
Whole
level
other
because you're
level.
also doing it in public.
Yes, doing it in public and then, reflecting it yourself, but also having
And then also growing online with social media and
oh yeah.
having people also reflect
Oh,
their
that's the
own.
part that's always, I
Yeah.
think, very unique and interesting. But there is a lot of beauty in that part of it because, yes, the comments can be a variety of ways, but
Mhm.
the amount of people that have connected with whether it's getting sober or whatever it might be,
Yeah.
that is why it matters.
Totally.
I'll take 1,000. You are the worst person. I hate you. You're ugly. You have horrible face. I don't want to see you on my TV anymore. I can deal with that as long as the one or two people are like, you helped me get sober or you inspired me to ask for help.
Yeah,
I'll
I
take
want to
that
talk about that
all day long.
because that journey in itself and the impact you're making with and it's planted everything you're doing now and what you're creating in the world. Like what was that journey like of getting sober? What was the realization, the pivotal point? Was it seeing yourself on screen and being like, I need to make a change? Was it a moment like that? Was it a lot of reflection? Like tell us about that journey.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a culmination of many years of ups and downs. I mean,
Mhm.
growing up in a family in Pittsburgh, alcohol was a big part of our
Yeah,
family,
you said that from the
but
beginning.
I didn't think I clocked behaviorally there was issues with certain family members until later on in my
Mhm.
life, but it was just always a thing. People drank in our house, and that's what it was. But as I started to learn more about my behavior, I realized that I don't drink or party like everybody else. I'm was learning over time that some of my behavior I wasn't proud of. And then the next morning, the anxiety. So I had a lot of really, really bad moments and like really, I treated people horribly. I was in relationships with people I lied and did crazy things. But I had a lot of that was shown on TV. So I had to watch that back and relive it and certainly be accountable and apologize and really work on myself. So over the course of a few years, like this roller coaster I took people on, I thought I was getting into a better place, and then COVID happened. So 2020 here I was living in New York City still here, and our city shut down, and so did the
Yeah.
world. And I decided at that point, I was like, I need to like get sober because I'm like, I'm gonna die if I don't actually do this because we're like isolated. We're all sitting around doing nothing, and that was kind of one of the first things I did. I went to a Tony Robbins seminar because a friend of mine was like, "You need to like get some help." Because I was calling her late at night, FaceTiming her at 4 in the morning, fucked up, drunk, on drugs. Like I can't understate. Like for 10 years in New York City, I drank pretty much every day and I did cocaine pretty much every other day.
Wow.
So when you're in that world and it's so normal to you, but then you like
Mhm.
finally have COVID and like things pause, it was like a holy shit, I gotta like get some help here. But it
That's
but it wasn't
incredible
overnight.
that you did, because you could have also went the other way and been like, I'm alone in my apartment.
Well,
Like,
I almost did, so that's early 2020, March, I started to get, I started seeing a therapist and I was really open. I'm like, I think I have a problem with drinking. So we were working on moderation and you're only going to take a couple of days off and then really talk through it and we're going to like reflect on it.
mhm.
I was doing pretty well from like that April of 2020 until June of 2020. We started filming another season of Summer House in that July of 2020. I came into the house and I told everybody, "Hey guys, I'm like, haven't been drinking. I'm taking it easy." And everybody was like,
Yeah.
"You look great." Everybody was happy for me. But I started to dabble in some of my own product, Loverboy. I started to sip on some other drinks at times, and it's like, okay, I can do this. Um, and I'm gonna warn you, like what I'm about to tell you is very difficult to share. But my brother passed away,
Mm.
so I got a phone call while we were filming the TV show that I'm on.
How old was your brother?
He was at the time 42 years old
How did he pass?
from a drug overdose. And my brother had a long career of ups and downs, and I grew up around this environment.
Did he ever, yeah. Did you guys know he,
Oh yeah, yeah. From the time I was 15 years old, sorry, 10 years old, he was 15.
yeah.
Drugs and behavioral things were very common in my house with my brother. Skipping school, getting in trouble, variety of things. He was under house arrest at times. He went to jail. I mean, I can't understate again how his path in life was very different than
Mhm.
mine, but very similar, if it makes any sense.
Yeah.
So he had a long career of ups and downs. I mean, rehab, halfway houses. My brother was living homeless, smoking crack under bridges. Like it doesn't get any more difficult than that. So he had a long track record, but was seemingly like he had similar to me. He'd get healthy for a little bit, be doing really well, and then something would happen in his life, and he couldn't handle that, and would start using again.
Mhm.
He would go off the deep end for a little bit and then kind of come back. So he had come back and he was in a good place. But again, that time of our lives, a lot of people were feeling isolated, alone,
Yeah.
uneasy. But yeah, he had gotten clean and sober, but then I guess had used again.
And then from that point on, was that the moment where you were like, I'm never
No,
touching
it
drugs
wasn't. It was
again?
actually that night I was like, I'm going to get fucked up. I'm going to go get drunk. I'm going to go buy drugs and do whatever I want.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like that for a while after he passed. Even at my brother's funeral, I mean, I gave a eulogy in front of my whole entire family. One of the most difficult things I've ever had to do in my life. Right after I went to the bar next door,
So how did you come out of this cycle
I
completely?
hit rock bottom myself. I almost died. So yeah, I was drinking and using cocaine by myself um, constantly. This is after my brother had passed away. I was really struggling with grieving the loss of him.
Yeah.
not only that, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, this is going to be on TV in a couple months when this new season comes out. Because remember, I've been on this show. Like everything in my life is
Oh,
filmed.
yes.
I got the phone call from my mother that my brother had passed while we're filming the TV show, just like the camera's on me right now. Imagine my phone rings like we're sitting here and I get the call, and that's what happened.
Wow.
And the cameras are still rolling. So I had to like deal with that feeling about this is going to be very public, even more public than it was at that time. Because I had announced it on my social media. I had a ton of support. People were very, very kind and generous to me, expressing, you know, their support. But I privately was still drinking and using cocaine. So yeah, I drank myself into an oblivion and did as many drugs as I could. I mean, I think deep down I was crying for help and using to numb the pain of losing my brother.
What were the things that you did to come out of it when you hit rock bottom? Like, how did you come up from that rock
I mean, I'm
bottom
lucky to be
moment?
alive, honestly. And that's not everybody has, you know, there's a lot of conversation about people not drinking in this world now. And there's people that stop drinking just because they realize it's not good for them and they can stop.
Yeah. Well,
I could not stop drinking because I'm an alcoholic. I could not stop using cocaine because I'm a cocaine addict. But not everybody's comfortable saying that. I'm very comfortable because I am. I come from a family that has alcoholism. There's mental illness. There's drug addiction, and that's okay.
yeah.
But how I got to where I'm at now is because I actually had to do this to stay alive. But not everybody is like, some people just do it because it's like, oh, I feel better and I'm good. And like, I'm so happy to hear that. I love it. But when people compare it to mine, I'm like, honestly, if I could still drink and be healthy, deep down, I probably would. I miss some of that, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is I cannot drink because it makes me sick. It makes me do crazy things and I cannot control it. It also fuels me to do other hard drugs that I also can't control that ruin my life.
And you know yourself on that level and you will not go near it. Is that when you also got into Loverboy with your best friend?
No, I had started prior to all that, started an alcohol company in 2018 with my two best friends. Yeah, like started filming Summer House in 2016. It got picked up again for season 2, 2017. By season 3, 2018, we realized that all the drinks we were drinking on the show were sugary and gave us terrible hangovers. We also realized we were giving product placement to companies that
See, innovator. He knows. He knows.
I
the
can't take
brand
credit
should be
for all
paying
this.
for
Kyle
placement.
and his wife, who I love, we're all best friends.
Yeah.
Kyle's an entrepreneur. Went to Babson in Boston and got his MBA. You don't just sign up to be on a reality show without having something in the back of your mind that you're doing it for. Some people just do it to do it, but this day and age, like every person that joins a reality show
Has a business move. Yeah.
course,
In the
of
background.
course. That's every bachelor for the last 10 years. Like no one knows what the relationships they were in, but they know what
Yeah.
brands they work with and what companies they're promoting. So yeah, it was for us, we saw an opportunity to create our own beverage. And Loverboy was born in 2018. But that was born, I was still drinking and partying, but
Yeah.
it wasn't as big of a conversation then. I just was Carl who was drinking and using, but you didn't maybe know that all the time.
Totally. Then what was the emergence of the non-alc Loverboy?
That was several years, I mean, some years into my sobriety. So I got sober finally in January of 2021.
So exciting.
I got a spot. I mean, like I said, I hit rock bottom. Like I did so much cocaine and drank so much wine that I almost died. It was truthfully the story. And I know you probably weren't expecting this on this conversation.
Wild.
No, but it's just
But also inspiring for people who also don't think there's an end in sight, or someone listening who has a friend or a brother or a family member who doesn't think that there's hope, and then they see and they hear your story, and then also how you pivoted with your mission in life.
yeah. Well, I think what helped me, as weird as this sounds, like hearing other people share their stories was like, wait, you like I would see people. I finally like that January of 2021, I had called a friend of mine from Los Angeles who had called me. Remember I told you back in June, I'm like getting help, I'm moderating, I'm just drinking a few. He calls me out of the blue, and he was a guy I used to party really, really hard with. And what I mean by really hard, like crazy, crazy partying. I'm not even comfortable telling you some of the things that happened.
Yeah.
That was the last time I saw this person, was like 5 years prior to this phone call. And the last time I'd seen him, we were doing cocaine in Santa Monica and like crazy, crazy shit. He got sober, got his life together. calls me because he watches me on TV.
Shut up.
And that particular thing, you're noticing me talk about my drinking issues. Like I'm opening up on TV about my drinking and you're seeing my behavior. Like even if I'm not opening up about it, you're like, this guy's an alcoholic. Like you can see me acting insane.
Yeah.
He calls me out in June of 2020 and says, hey man, are you going to AA? I said, no. And the way he said it to me, I was ruffled by it. I was like, I'm good. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, you're gonna have a hard time staying sober if you don't go to AA. I was like, okay, thanks. Hung up the phone. Not like in a bad way. I'm like, appreciate you calling. Fast forward January of 2021, 6-7 months later, I hit my rock bottom, literally almost died. He's freaked out a bunch of people. Kyle, even my best friend, came into my apartment, was like, sat me down, was like, you're gonna fucking die if you don't get help. Called this guy. He said, you need to call this guy who lived in New York. And it was his sober friend and someone he had connected with. This sober friend I got introduced to works at a bank here in New York, Goldman Sachs, super successful, very smart. Drugs and alcohol weren't getting in the way of his life. And he got help and had been sober for 10 years.
Wow.
So I get put in touch on the phone with this individual. I don't know anything about him other than that. We spoke on the phone and he kind of tells me what's going on. He's just talking to me, but it wasn't what I had expected. It wasn't like a friend all warm and fuzzy. It was more just like a coach who was like, I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here to talk about the New York Giants schedule this fall or the NFL season. We're talking about the big book, step one, and that's it. And like very serious working and reading literature together, working steps. And it's a whole part of the AA program that I started to submerge myself into.
Is that what you would recommend to anyone who's out there who is struggling?
I mean, without sounding like I think everybody is on their own path and their own journey, and not everything works for everybody. What's worked for me personally in my recovery, I believe AA is an amazing way to get sober. I recommend AA to people that aren't comfortable saying they're an alcoholic, because the 12 steps for anybody, just for your values, morality, how you treat people, how you look at your life, there's just good principles in there, regardless if you're an alcoholic or not. But the requirement for going to AA is raising your hand and saying, I'm an alcoholic, and not everybody thinks or believes that they are. So for those that don't really believe that they are and don't want to admit that, that's okay. You can still go to AA meetings and listen and learn. So I'd advise anybody, there's Zoom meetings. You can turn your camera off. No one will know you're there.
Yeah.
But hearing other people talk about it is how it works. Because I see someone and I look across the room, well-dressed, successful, smart. You would never know in a million years.
And there's community in that too, to know you're not alone.
Not alone. And that's all that I needed, was to see other people living and breathing in New York City. They left that meeting and went back to their beautiful apartment and successful jobs and careers, and you would never know. They just don't drink alcohol or do drugs anymore because they had to get help.
It is so crazy to me with having this podcast, like the people who've been on who come from, being an addict and going to AA, like Michael Chernow, Zach Clark, the legacies and the lives that they're building today with what they're doing in the world with their businesses and brands is just so profound. And I'm always like, my whole thing, it's like, well, what if you didn't do this for you? Then you're doing a disservice to the world, because with what you're building, it's a blessing and something that everyone needs. It's like, if you didn't go down this path, then all the lives that wouldn't even benefit from your existence and your presence, and then all the beautiful things that you create and do.
No, I mean, it does have a self-fulfilling component, but I really mean this. I never ever set out to help anybody but myself, truthfully. I love helping people and giving back. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I've always been the guy that takes off my shirt for someone else. Like I always will give and give. But when it comes to this, the number one priority is me.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realize is over some time into my first year of being sober was that the impact that just taking better care of yourself, other people are going to watch and see and feel that.
Totally.
And you're going to impact them just organically by doing what's best for you.
Yeah.
That was the gift. Because what is going to happen to those other people that are impacted by me, it could be just them pulling up an app because they saw me on Summer House. That is huge. But then from that, they pull up the app, they download it, they get maybe sober. Their girlfriend who now is like, wait, that's how it keeps network affecting and network affecting. And it's when you lead with that versus like, I'm here to help people because I got sober. Like,
Yeah.
it's disingenuous. And I don't think it works quite like that. Now, where Zach Clark's a good friend.
Yeah.
He's on another level of what he's done with his story and how he's looked at giving back and building community. Like I'm uncomfortable with that comparison with Zach because I don't have a recovery community building. Like I'm not in halfway rehab work. Like that's like a significant thing and it's very important. I wanted to do the opposite of that. I want to just live my fucking life, go for the things that I'm passionate about, be super active and take good care of myself, be social, be outgoing, live your life. But oh, by the way, yeah, I don't drink or do hard drugs anymore.
That's the inspiring thing though. And when we were chatting last week, it's like, that's why it works. Because you can see how you're walking the walk of life and so happy, so full of joy, and like what you're building with Soft Bar and like also your lifestyle with how you can do all of that and not drink. It's almost like to someone else, like, oh shit, I can do that too.
Yeah. Like if I was drinking, some of these things wouldn't be possible because my drinking was so mentally and physically debilitating where I would go on benders. I wouldn't sleep for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, and then you can't wake up and crush the day. You
No.
can't crush your wellness. Like
None of it.
all those things. With the transition into like, fully not drinking, living the sober lifestyle, was it easy to just like have your own brand, like your own product-based business with your best friends and make that switch? Like, did the traction hit when you guys had Loverboy and you guys started using the non-alc Loverboy to
Yeah, I mean, it was funny because like our brand is very, Kyle, Amanda, and myself. I mean, the two of them are definitely like front and center because they started it. I'm an investor, I'm a founding member, we're best friends.
Yeah.
But it really is Kyle and Amanda's baby, Loverboy. And I love that. And like I'm so proud to be a part of it. But I mean, hear me out. Like from 2018, we launched the business. 2019, it's available in stores here in New York. 2020, COVID happens. We start getting more traction in other states. Then we just had this hockey stick of sales because the show started to build. All these people were watching TV on their couches during COVID. Alcohol sales went through the roof during COVID. So we had a tremendous boost. But here we were, 3 people that are the faces of this company. And one of them is like really struggling with his drinking, but like not sure how to navigate it. So I would be hosting events for Loverboy with Kyle and Amanda, holding Heineken Zero, holding a sparkling water, holding a Poland Spring. But here I am. You're here to see me and drink the products that we invented and started. So it was confusing for me. And I struggled with that because I don't like being disingenuous or fake. And I've always been someone, even on my social media, if I post a brand deal, I'm using that fucking product and I like it or I really believe in it. Sure, I've done some brands that maybe I'm not like an avid user of, but I've said no to a lot of things that are not authentic. Even if the money is great, I want to go to sleep at night for the most part, knowing that I genuinely like those things. So for me to stand up at a Loverboy event and we didn't have a non-alcoholic option, it felt weird. So I was like confused by that. So I actually took a little bit of a step back. Kyle and Amanda was like, hey, take your time. Taking a step back, I looked at what was going on in the non-alc industry and I'm like, we need a non-alc. Kyle and Amanda agreed. They started to develop one. I was also looking at this whole industry. I'm like, I want to work in this industry, but I don't know how yet. But that's where the ideas for Soft Bar started to develop because I'm sober now and I'm looking around at bars and restaurants when I'm social. I'm like, actually, I don't have any, there's nothing to buy.
There's nowhere to go.
Like, it's the hilarious part is I don't buy anything. Like I'm passive aggressive like that.
Yeah.
I go to places, there's nothing to buy because they don't even have a close enough non-alc thing. I don't want a Coca-Cola.
I'm like sparkling water, Coke. Like,
great, but like that's not what I want something, thoughtful, tasty, healthy, and all the things. But yeah, the Loverboy product it's an alcohol brand first. But like most big non-alcoholic, or sorry, like most big alcoholic brands, they have a
Mhm.
non-alc option. Just like most coffee companies have a decaf option.
Totally.
Just like most companies have
Yeah.
a light option or a zero sugar option or a gluten-free option. So it was a natural evolution for our brand to have a non-alc product, but now I could be kind of the face and lead it.
Mhm.
But during us researching that product line, figuring out just a simple question, who buys non-alcoholic drinks? Like who buys them? Do do people that are sober buy them? Do people that drink alcohol buy them? It actually was crazy, but 94% of the non-alcoholic drinks that are sold in the United States of America are sold to people that go, "Yeah, I still drink too." 94%, which is basically all of them.
Wow.
That 6% is, yes, sober people, pregnant women, people that have dietary, religious, variety of reasons.
Totally, yeah.
That is a small piece of the pie. I'm not building a business just for that piece of the pie. I want to build it
Mhm.
for, yes, these are my most important people, but I wanted to build it for the mindful people, the people just taking a break, because they're the ones actually buying it.
Yeah, totally.
A lot of not a lot of sorry, a lot of sober people don't even buy non-alcoholic drinks because it's too adjacent
That makes so much
for
sense.
them and that's totally fine. And I totally understand that. For me personally, I need non-alcoholic adjacent drinks
Yeah.
that are zero point 0 or even less than 0.05, which is a whole
Other convert.
thing that people aren't ready for. It's a simple conversation, but on the label, people get confused. They're like, "Oh, you're not sober anymore." I'm like, there's naturally occurring alcohol in fruit. So if you were to eat a banana right now
Mhm.
and blew into a breathalyzer, it would register.
No way.
Yes,
That's
there's
crazy.
alcohol in our fruits and our foods.
That's insane.
Mustard, soy sauce, yogurt, kombucha all have alcohol. Small trace. So anybody that's worried, if you eat Chinese food or soy sauce in your meals and mustard and yogurt, you might have more alcohol in you than that less than
Oh, that's
0.5% that
insane.
you're giving me a hard time about.
Okay, so tell
So,
us about this journey of soft bar
yes.
because you're so in this space, you have so much knowledge. Um, what was that origin, like that eureka idea of like, well, you always knew like, okay, I want this, like I personally want to go somewhere, but like, what was that moment where you're like, I'm gonna actually act on it and
Yeah.
go down this whole other journey of launching this business, which is not cheap because it's a whole build out in Greenpoint.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, she got a chance to see
it's
this
so insane. You
last
were not cutting a corner there
or
too.
2 weeks ago. I think you came by.
Yeah,
We
everything
made
is
more progress since you've
oh
been.
my gosh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
The
looks
design, the rooms, like you did not and everything I think about because like my brain's like, oh, Brandy, you're like already done. It's gonna be right there.
we've tried to think through a lot, but
Yeah.
I'm so once we launched our I'll kind of steer the ship. Just it
Yeah.
helps me to tell the story. We launched the non-alcoholic Loverboy back in 2023, September, October. I'm at our Loverboy offices are down in Fidei.
Oh, so
I
cool.
was with Kyle and Amanda. We're tasting the product. It looks great. It's in the cans. We're going to get it online. It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be on all these websites. Great.
Mhm.
There's stores that exist in New York and a lot of major cities that are just for non-alcoholic beverages. You walk in, it looks just like a wine shop or a liquor store. But that particular store, their whole thing is everything in here is non-alc. So it looks, there's a non-alc bottle of wine on the shelf. There's non-alc beer. It's an entire store for non-alcoholic beverages, but it's not sitting down. It's walk in and buy the product and leave.
Yeah.
Just like a bodega or convenience
There was
store.
one in LA and it just closed down.
I've done 3 events at that store myself. New bar. I'm friends with the founders. It's great. But the part of why I'm doing soft bar is because some of those retail concepts haven't picked up as much traction.
No, yeah.
And I know why, but we don't have enough time to get into that. I mean, all the other retailers like Whole Foods and Walmart and all these other places are now adapting. But the bars and restaurants aren't adapting because they make more money off of the alcohol. That's how their business model is built.
Totally.
Where a coffee shop actually is more prime for something with what I'm doing, but extending that time. Coffee shops usually close at 5.
Yeah.
Why?
Or 4. Oh my God.
Or
It
4.
sucks.
But I'm creating a concept that's open all day.
And
But what if you
yeah.
flipped the menu or changed it and added these functional drinks and these non-alcoholic drinks?
Yeah.
So how I got here was the store you're referencing in LA. There's a couple other brands and companies that have come. The one that I'm referencing is called Boisson, Boisson. It's a French word, which stands for beverage. Boisson was the first to market. Boisson opened up 5 locations in New York,
No way.
2 in California, and 1 in San Francisco, 1 in LA, 1 in Miami, and I think 1 other location I'm forgetting. So Boisson, again, it was a small little retailer. It's a cool store, non-alcoholic drinks. Our Loverboy products were for sale there. I talked to their team. We pitched them. We did an event. Here I am in Brooklyn at the Williamsburg Boisson store. It's the fall of 2023. I walk in this store on a Friday. It's smaller than this studio, but it's just shelves of cool non-alc, and it's like a cool store. But the way they've built it was not to sit down. It's going to the grocery store. Do you sit down at the grocery store?
No.
Unless it's like Wegmans, maybe, but you walk in and you leave.
Yeah.
This is the same experience. Walk in, buy your stuff. So I'm walking in, I buy a couple non-alc drinks. I actually buy my own product because I just like buying my own products.
Yeah. It's a good founder.
And I'm walking down the street with literally a shopping bag of non-alc. And I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why am I walking home right now and drinking non-alcoholic drinks by myself in my apartment? Where do you go drink the best non-alc? And that was my question to myself. And no one can answer that question. Oh, that bar down the street has non-alc. Great. It's afterthought. It's lazy. It's on the bottom of the menu. It's random. It's not a lot of thought.
I was even showing you at Soho House. Like they put a little bit more effort. I don't know how the New York locations are, but in LA it's like they make it sound a little bit cool, like lavender hibiscus CBD infused mocktail. Like
yeah,
at least it sounds a little
they're
bit
getting
cool.
better.
But then I get it and I'm like, oh, it's just a can of this beverage that it's not. They just give me the can and ice.
Yes.
So it's better,
there
but
is
it's
some
like
innovation happening.
yeah.
But at a drinking environment, those beverages I still think get lost in the shuffle.
Oh, they don't do
Like
well. Yeah.
because they're not a focus. It's kind of an afterthought.
Then someone beside you orders like the Moscow Mule or the Picante, and then it's like this whole thing.
Yes. So I just started
Yeah.
to realize that we needed place, a third space that you can come any time of day and actually sit down and explore and experience and try all of these non-alcoholic options. But I took it a step further because there are bars out there. There's one in San Francisco, Ocean Beach Cafe. I know the owner. He's doing a version of kind of this, but I'm taking it another level. There's a guy that's here in Park Slope in Brooklyn. They've got a non-alcoholic bar. There's one in the East Village. They're only open certain hours on weekends. Then the menu is not as robust or as sophisticated. What's missing in all of these concepts is coffee and alternative coffee, functional drinks, things like that. So I started to go, well, guess what? I don't even drink coffee.
Yeah, I know. It's just wild.
Now, I like coffee. I don't drink it because it makes me more anxious and jittery. After a big meal, I will have a little bit of espresso. Don't get me wrong. I love caffeine. I'm sipping on a green tea caffeine as we speak from Loverboy and Lean, the collab we did.
So good.
Now, this doesn't provide the jittery or shakiness. It gives me a cool focus energy. But if you don't drink coffee and you don't drink alcohol, please tell me where you go to hang out in this city.
And especially at certain hours, like at 8 p.m.
It's really, now I find my way. Don't get me wrong. I'm very social. I get invited places. I'm very lucky. More often than not, I don't even spend any money because there isn't anything to buy. I was at the Cooke. It's a great bar in Chelsea, hockey bar. I love watching sports. Love being with the boys. We were watching the New York Knicks playoff game at a hockey bar, which is even more funny. And I love the Cooke. Like, they're great people. I sat there for 5 hours watching the New York Knicks playoff game.
I had water.
And I had sparkling water and just regular tap water. And the bill came and I looked at my friends. I was like, sorry, boys. Like, I didn't buy anything. And I'd been there for 5.5 hours.
I've been there.
Now, if I had options, I would have spent $100. No problem. Just to feel in the environment, watching the game with the guys. So
It
I
also
really,
makes you stay longer, enjoy.
yeah. Well, I mean, I was still staying there with water.
I know. You're
Could you
probably
imagine if I had like a good functional drink and maybe like a cool non-alc and a cool
totally.
non-alc beer? So I just really have been living and breathing this as a consumer my own. And then my alcohol beverage and industry experience have merged. Like think of Carl as the consumer and then Carl the like entrepreneur have come together. Like I have all this entrepreneurial experience in building a beverage brand, in alcohol, in
Mhm.
distribution, hospitality as well. And then now I as a consumer I'm like the consumer is not happy here. But I've been living at like this as a consumer for 4.5 years,
Yeah.
working in the alcohol industry. Like I see it firsthand. I've been watching this happen.
It's so wild.
And one of the things that tipped me off was even earlier on when I first got sober, we had a meeting with one of our distributors. Now, our Loverboy brand, we are with a lot of distributors here in the United States. Like in San Diego, it could be a different company. In Chicago, it's a different company. The way we've gone to market with our Loverboy brand is we're with around 150 wholly owned distributors, meaning it's not just like Southern Glazers and we're across the country. Now, some brands do that. We didn't do that. We went a different direction.
Yeah.
So here in New York, we were at a meeting with one of our executives, and you know, some people that I've met in this industry were like, "Yeah, I'm sober too." It's like, "What?" No, like 20 years, 15 years. People that literally work for some of the largest distributors in the country don't drink alcohol.
So crazy. That's insane.
That's why I was like, okay. Like I was so like caught off guard,
Yeah.
but it gave me peace of mind. And it made me realize is this is an industry that is comprised of a lot of people that don't consume it. The people that work here don't drink it.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, there's something happening here. And I've just over the last 4.5 years, I've seen it as a entrepreneur in this industry and a consumer. And I'm not like future forecasting, but I've been seeing it happening.
No, I agree. And even if you look at Gen Z, no one drinks.
No, they
Have you
don't.
looked into the data there? Like no one is drinking.
I
And
have a 16-year-old niece,
yeah.
my brother's daughter, who I love very much. And she like the comparison, she's like, it's unheard of. Like would never want to get caught being drunk or drinking or like
Mhm.
some kids vape, but for the most part, alcohol is not a thing. When I was 16, yes, I wasn't a drinker in high school, but like that's what the kids did on weekends. You stole
Yeah.
beer from your parents' garage, you went into the woods, you pre-gamed, you went to some house party,
Mhm.
you stole more booze from mom's cabinet, and that's kind of what it was.
Totally.
You took some Adderall to, get through or party the next time.
Yeah.
The thought of that now is unheard of to her. So
Yeah.
I'm confirming kind of what you're saying, the Gen Z, that they
And
don't drink.
you were talking about this too with hospitality. Like the shift that we're seeing is like a lot of sales businesses make money from alcohol, right? These restaurants, these bars, they make all their money from alcohol. But now that there's just been this huge shift, like, are we gonna see these big restaurant concepts like go out of business? Because I've already seen it in LA. Like a lot of
I
everyone's
hope,
like favorite places are closing
yeah,
down because they're not making enough money because it's so expensive and no one's buying alcohol.
I know. I hope there isn't like this all out kind of demolition of like the hospitality experiences. I just think they've got to get creative and
Yeah.
they really got to lean on, I think, innovation and really listening to what consumers are looking for. The problem is the industry's been built on kind of this way it's been, which is the margin of alcohol is substantial. And margins in hospitality are very thin with food
Mhm.
costs, labor costs, and your rent. Those are all hard costs that don't have a lot of flexibility. But with your alcohol,
Yeah.
I mean, they have happy hours. They get better deals. They can kind of work the game. But I talk to people all the time in New York City. It, there's like this city's going to look a lot different next year
Totally
because the consumers are
changing.
changing. Now I feel bad because I don't have an answer directly. I just think they need to look at their business models differently and
Yeah.
build it around the like what is actually happening versus the
Yeah.
way it used to be. Clubs, bottle service.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, yes, people still get bottle service. I was at a table in the Hamptons this past weekend. Friends of ours had a bottle for $1,500. 10 of us at the table. Cool, great. Like people aren't doing that to the regularity that they were 5, 6,
No.
7, 8 years ago here in New York.
So
So
crazy.
the only comparison I can think of, it's not a good one, is when cars were invented, they didn't have seatbelts.
Yeah.
Like cars took us 50 years
That's crazy.
from the time the car was invented until the seatbelt was installed. I mean, we've had alcohol in this country over 100 years, but we're finally, I think, realizing a variety of impacts it has on our personal lives, our health and wellness,
Mm-hmm.
our mental health, and then even taking a step further, just like all the associated domestic violence, rapes, murders, crime, all relating to alcohol. I mean, I think
It's
alcohol
like
is
not
way more
even.
pervasive in our culture than we're even giving it credit for, with like the other things that happen as a result. Drunk driving, like I said, behavioral things that, oh, he was drunk. Well, he just slapped that woman,
Yeah.
domestic violence. But so
It,
it's interesting.
it's so exciting though to see the change that's happening. Like personally for me, I get so excited when I hear about what you're doing and then seeing like now meetups in the city are like around like coffee and cold plunge and
Yeah.
like that's cool and that's like where people want to be. Like there's so many and right now I see it a lot in LA with like coffee culture because there aren't concepts like what you're creating with Sop Bar. So how do you think Sop Bar is not just like changing the non-alc industry, but culture? Because that's what I see, especially because you're making it so cool.
Yeah.
And
That's
the
the,
space that you're doing, it's like a vibe. Like you want to go there to hang.
yeah. I mean, I think I'm glad you're clocking it like that, because
Hmm.
that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is to redefine and elevate it. You
Yeah.
know, I'm lucky that I'm in this position because I've been working with an alcohol company. Don't drink anymore. It's not like I just fell out of the thin air and like, I want to do this.
Mhm.
Like, I just see it so clearly in my head that like we need to create something that is accessible to anyone, regardless of how you describe your relationship with alcohol.
Yeah.
I've seen firsthand, as someone who like is very comfortable. I talk to people all the time. Hey, Carl, like, "Yeah, I can't stop drinking. I'm really struggling, but I'm not an alcoholic, and I'm not, AA is not for me." But
Mm.
okay, no worries. But like in the back of my head, I'm like, you probably need to go to AA, but I'm not going to sit there and judge.
Yeah.
I just tell them what works for me. But a lot of this world of sobriety and recovery has a lot of certain things that you have to like abide by, right? Or
Hmm.
subscribe to. And that's great. But sometimes that's overwhelming for people just trying to take a break or explore maybe sobriety, or don't want to label.
Yeah.
And a lot of what exists currently is kind of like, is that there's a sober bar, East Village. To me, it's like you got to be sober to go there. I've gone to it. It's great. But I wanted something a little more elevated.
Yeah.
And I've gone to the ones in California. Cool, great. They close at 5, or they're only open at 5 on the weekend. But the experience isn't there. I'm like, I want to create something that you can come any time of day and have an amazing drink and a great experience. And it doesn't matter if you're sober or not. But yes, that is like the thread of all this. I just don't want to beat people over the head every 10 seconds. Like,
No,
get
it's gonna
sober this.
influence just from doing, you know? It's like you can like lead best by creating that.
Yes.
And the cool thing, I've even seen this shift with like so many friends of mine. They'll do like a 30-day, a dry January,
Yeah, of
or
course.
like they'll stop drinking for a season, like a maybe 2 weeks, maybe the 30 days, right? I've had so many friends that have done that and then never go back.
Yeah. No,
So
it's funny.
it's so exciting to me.
One of my dear friends, she's also like a non-alc
Yeah.
influencer. Her name's Shay. No Booze Babes. She's a great follow.
That.
You actually should have her on.
I love that.
But she, is someone that, she tells her alcohol-free story in a way that, she decided to take a little bit of a break. I think it was dry
Mhm.
January, and just kept
And then you feel so
and
good,
just
you're
kept going.
clearer, you're crushing life more, like,
Yeah.
it's so crazy when you see that, and then with what you're creating with Soft Bar, it excites me because it's like, people will start going on, like, a date night there, like, how many dates in New York are around getting a drink?
I
It's like,
mean,
you can go to Soft Bar, and then you both don't drink.
that's like the suggested pickup line in every
Yeah.
dating app, is like getting that to that stage. Like, "Hey, you're cute. What's up? Where you from? What neighborhood you live in? Let's grab a drink sometime." Like, that's literally what
Yeah.
has been said on every first flirt message.
And now they can go
Now,
there.
the drink is going to be different, hopefully, for a lot. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think creating a space that still has connection, still has like a good vibe,
Yeah.
but there is no requirement of
Totally.
sobriety because there is a lot of stigma. And I'll give you another example. I work with some people on my team that stopped drinking. They would never in a million years say I'm sober or in recovery. They didn't go to AA. He just
Mhm.
stopped drinking. He hasn't had a drink in 5 years and hasn't touched a drug in 5 years. But when someone's like, "Oh, are you sober?" and he's like, "No, I don't. I haven't had a drink in 5 years." Like, "Oh, you're sober then?" He's like, "No, I just don't drink anymore. Like, I'm not an alcoholic."
Yeah.
But when you say sober, it gets like this. You had a problem. You were this. You're that. And some people aren't comfortable with that association. There's a
Mm.
lot of people out there like that. So it's interesting because like I wanted to make sure soft bar doesn't make people feel weird or bad about how they approach their relationship with alcohol. All that you know is you come in here, you're gonna have a great drink, a great experience. You're gonna learn about the ingredients.
Mhm.
It's gonna be healthier for you, and you're gonna feel good about yourself.
I know, it's so cool.
So it was important because I've seen these other options or other places,
Yeah.
they lead with that, and that's great. But I think if we're gonna get people to take that step into that room, you can't beat them over the head about it first. You gotta make it
Mhm.
accessible,
All
and
how you influence and you master like the power of brand. So I feel like
that was one of the first investments I
this
made,
thing.
truthfully, was investing in the brand first, which was, I had this idea, this concept, but I needed some help to bring like all of that to life. So I worked with a group of women out of Brooklyn. They own an incredible agency called This Is Assembly.
Mm.
And I got introduced to them from another colleague of mine who's sober, and they only work with mission driven brands. I had to pitch them.
Yeah, I remember when you told me this story and then they were so hyped
They were
about it.
pumped because, I mean, they've worked with women's, beauty brands that have a deeper meaning and like a real purpose
That's
behind
so
it.
cool.
And of course, with Soft Bar, yes, there's a deeper thread of this that
Mhm.
I think we need alcohol free spaces that are fun, cool, elevated. And honestly, if there's 40,000 liquor stores in the US and 40,000 bars, there can be 15 soft bars.
Yeah, 100%. I love this so much. I could talk to you for so
I know.
long on so many other areas
I ramble like
because
crazy
there's
here.
so many other things I wanted to dive in on. So we'll have to do a part two
Okay.
because when is the opening?
So we don't have an exact date,
It's coming
but
soon though.
I'll give you like this morning we were on the phone with my team. Just to paint a picture, like we ordered I had to put on our credit card this morning. Like we ordered some equipment for
Yeah.
our dishwasher. We've already received our low boys, which are like the low refrigeration systems. We've
It's
received
coming close.
coolers, espresso machines. Like a lot of our equipment is starting to arrive.
Yeah.
We are under construction still. You saw it,
Yeah.
but we're supposed to get it handed over from the construction team at the end of this month. Then from like early August till I'm hoping a soft opening like August 27th,
So soon,
28th.
guys. So soon.
So like in a month and a half, 2 months.
So crazy. Okay, before we end, we're
Yeah.
doing rapid fire round. So this is just one word answers for hot takes in.
Okay.
And I'm excited because you have all the foresight.
I have a lot
So
of shit
there's
to
some
say.
that are entrepreneur, like founder stuff. Some are just like lighthearted. So first, you just one words. Most underrated non-alc drink ingredient.
Most underrated non-alc drink
Yeah,
ingredient.
it could be like like L-theanine, adaptogens, like whatever they
Underrated?
Yeah, that you love. Just do your favorite.
Oh.
Hard.
Honestly, lion's mane.
Ooh, that's good.
Lion's mane's in a lot of stuff now, but
I love it.
I'm a big lion's
I
mane
love
guy.
it. Matcha or espresso? I know you're not much of a coffee drinker, but
I love espresso, but matcha's having a moment for sure.
what's your favorite?
Right now it's espresso,
Espresso.
but after a meal.
Favorite way to recharge without screens?
Favorite way to recharge without a screen would be I do acupuncture every once in a while. I do get massages. I like just going for runs.
Yeah, what's your top though?
I mean, sorry, it's hard. I would say getting a massage is probably the best.
So
Just
good.
it forces you not to be on your phone for an hour.
I love that.
Even when I'm running, I'm like, you're listening to
Yeah,
music.
yeah,
Like I'm on my
totally. You're
phone, but I'm
thinking
not
of it.
holding it.
Yeah.
But I'm
That's
just trying to think of a
fair.
pure
That's
thing
so
where you're really
fair.
not using your phone. I'd say massage or like an acupuncture.
Okay, most used app right now.
The Calm app.
Oh, nice.
I've been a Calm user
You need a
since I got sober
sponsored
almost
person for
5
that.
years ago. I've even reached out to their team and everything, but
It'll happen.
it's all good.
Go to date spot
I got to meet
in
Jay
New
Shetty.
York.
Jay Shetty and I are friends.
Oh,
all that
that's
matters.
sick.
Jay and I he follows me.
Okay,
He
he's
shoots me
gonna be at
messages.
Soft Bar.
I love Jay. He's a big fan.
Go to date spot in New York City right now.
Go to date spot.
Yeah, I want to ask you this because where do we?
I still go to bars on first
Which
dates.
one then? The
I mean-
girls are gonna go.
I mean, I live in Brooklyn, so I have gone on a first date. I don't want to give away my one spot because I've gone there a fair amount.
Yeah.
It's like a local spot that's like has good non-alc beer. If the person I'm on the date with, if she's a drinker, she has an option.
Yeah.
I would say though, like just in general, a good first date spot would be getting like a coffee or matcha or something cold beverage and going for a walk
Love.
or doing something like
That's the ideal.
that initially. Because I think when you're on your first date, I don't know, there's so much you want to talk about. And I feel like if you're moving and just more like
Mhm.
casual, it can be just a nicer experience.
Totally.
Versus like
Okay.
sometimes you're like sitting in front of that person and
For too long.
Yeah.
Night out or night in?
by myself or with someone.
Oh, by yourself. Or actually, no. Like if it's a night in, I guess it's by yourself, or like with someone is night out.
Yeah. Depends on how I'm feeling. If I've got energy,
Night.
I love going out, but there are nights that I really do appreciate just
Eh.
being chill. Because I'm an early bird. I wake up early in the morning.
Okay. Okay. Hardest part about being a founder.
Hardest part about being a founder, I think, is just communications and team management.
One word to describe the vibe of Soft Bar or at Soft Bar when it opens. One word.
Mindful.
Mindful. Love it. And then lastly, we're gonna end with this one. Your favorite mantra or quote right now that like you keep in your back pocket.
I said this on another interview with Kate Max, but I won't say that one. I said don't be afraid to plunge the toilets, which basically is like an entrepreneurial, like nothing is above or below you.
Yeah.
But the other one I like, and it can relate to like clients or vendors or people you work with. You never know who your next boss is going to be. And what I mean by that is leave any business relationship or like vendor, client on as decent of a terms as you can because things come back around
I
again.
love that. It's
so
true.
The amount of people I've met who are now at another company and you would never expect that ever.
The
And you're now
industry is
talking to
so
this
small.
company and this person works there and maybe you had a shitty relationship with them from 2 companies ago.
Yeah.
Well, now you're screwed again.
Be a good person.
Try to be a
So
good
simple.
person, leave on good terms. You never know who your next boss is going to be.
Well, thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Can you plug where people can follow you and plug Soft Bar? Where
Yeah.
can people find out?
So, I mean, the best place to learn about Soft Bar would be our Instagram. We're actually going to be doing a little change up to get ready for our location opening. Just the feed has been a lot of information, a lot of my face,
Mhm.
but Soft Bar stands on its own without me. Like I have a team, I have like real folks involved. So Soft Bar on Instagram, you can find me on Instagram at Carl Radke. It's CarlRad as in dog, KE.
And we'll link everything too.
And then I'm on TikTok as well.
Yeah.
I have more fun on TikTok with just being Carl, which is also Carl Radke. And then Soft Bar, you can expect us to be open at some point end of August this summer,
So
or
exciting.
just really I would come through right after Labor Day. We're going to be rocking and rolling around
I
then.
can't wait. We'll definitely be plugging everything in the show notes. And thank you so
Thank you.
much again.